Alright, Pizza Tower. Probably the biggest release of the year so far in terms of how widespread it is. And I'm finally getting around to reviewing it, like, after everyone else. Well, the reason for that is simply because I wanted to take my time playing it. I didn't want to rush through it. And also I had other things going on, commissions to work through. But I got my queue cleared and I got through Pizza Tower and it's really good. Like, really, really good. I think it is the closest to perfect a game has ever come in my experience. I do have a couple things I want to mention, but like 99% of this review is going to be positive, so let's just start with the negatives and get them out of the way. There are a couple levels that I'm not super fond of, personally. Crust Cove is the main one. I don't find the layout of it all that interesting, and I don't find the escape that fun. And I'm really struggling to think of any negatives. Holy crap, I'm actually... I thought I'd have more to say in this part of the video. Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's give a synopsis of the story. You know, just get into it, so once we get that out of the way, we can talk about the mechanics, we can talk about the music, the art style, everything. So you play as an Italian man named Peppino Spaghetti who owns a pizzeria called Peppino's Pizza, and the place is not doing too hot financially. You know, it's kind of on the down low. And then, as if to make matters worse, this giant pizza with a face, appropriately named Pizza Face, shows up and tells you that he has a giant cannon on top of his tower called the Pizza Tower, and he's gonna blow up your place. So you rush there and make your way up to fight him and stop that from happening. Along the way, you'll meet all kinds of different characters. You'll go through a bunch of different levels, each one unique with their own gimmicks, use a bunch of different transformations, and fight some really well-crafted bosses. So, for the gameplay style, if you've ever played Wario Land 4 on the Game Boy Advance, you know, Wario's greatest achievement. It's kind of like that, except on steroids, crack cocaine, and a little bit of caffeine. The idea behind it is that you have these levels that you have to run through, and throughout the levels, you can find these top-ins, which are basically your main collectible. You don't have to collect them to, well, you kind of do. You don't have to collect all of them, you just have to collect enough of them to make enough money to buy a boss gate, so you can fight a boss, get the key from it, and then advance to the next floor. There are 5 top-ins in a level, and each top-in is worth $10, and you'll usually need anywhere around $150 to $200 to unlock a boss gate. That's generally the range I've noticed. I could be wrong, I could be misremembering, but that's not the point. The level design is simple but effective. Levels are uniquely designed, intricately crafted, but they're not total mazes. There are a couple levels where I got a little lost out in a couple places, but once I started paying attention to my surroundings, that problem went away just immediately. So your main goal is you have to get the top-ins, and then you have to destroy the Pillar John at the end of a level, and then you have to get out while the level crumbles around you. If you don't get out in time, Pizza Face will spawn and chase you down, and if he touches you, you die. The sense of speed in this game is insane, and it needs that sense of speed for the levels to feel gratifying to get through quickly. Peppino himself is pretty simple to control for the most part. He has some more intricate mechanics, but the basics of it is that you hold down a button while moving to dash, and the longer you hold it down while keeping that dash going, the faster he goes up to a certain point. But if you run into a wall, then all your momentum comes to a halt. Just instantly. You can also grab enemies, throw them around. You've got a ground pound move. You've got a super jump that you can only do when you're running, well, dashing. And if you hit the dash button in midair when doing a super jump, you can go into a shoulder bash, which will immediately get you running at full speed again. Basically, to put it simply, Pizza Tower is a speedrunner's paradise. But you don't have to be a speedrunner to enjoy the game. What I've noticed is that the opening of a level, you know, the part before the escape, that's when you're supposed to be, like, learning the layout of the level, taking notice of what paths will open up when the escape begins and what won't, what you can access, what you'll be able to access, and then the escape acts as a test of your knowledge of the level's layout. There are also a bunch of different transformations that give each level a different spin. Not every level has a transformation, but the ones that don't will usually have some other gimmick that you need to contend with. For example, you've got 2 levels where you play as Gustavo in Brick, which is Peppino's business partner and his pet giant rat, or friend giant rat, one of the two. And they're a blast to play as. I wish they were playable in more levels, dude. They're great. And they've got their own ability set, being able to wall jump, being able to climb, you know, having a double jump. They play distinctly from Peppino, but also have their own sense of speed. So they fit right into the game's setup and general play style. And nearly every transformation is really fun. Even my least favorite transformation, the barrel, I can at least see the intent and respect what they were going for. And it has something going for it. It's just, I'm bad at it. I'm just gonna admit I'm bad at using it. That's kind of the main problem. But in all honesty, that doesn't discount the power-up, and it's probably someone's favorite power-up, you know? Someone out there just absolutely loves the barrel, and that's fine. For me, my favorite power-up is a tie between the shotgun, which gives you a jump blast ability, a shotgun blast that allows you to just absolutely destroy enemies, and it also allows you to keep your dash move so you can still just absolutely run over enemies. And the Satan's Choice Pizza, which appears for one level, and it's a spicy pizza that is so unbelievably spicy that it turns Peppino into a fiery death god for the rest of the level. It is actually the biggest power trip in any game I've played recently. I absolutely love it to bits. You're invincible, you're unstoppable, and just everything in your path just gets utterly annihilated. So yeah, every single level is fun in some way. Crust Cove, like I mentioned earlier, is like the only level I'm not super fond of. But even then, it has its own fun factor, and it could just entirely be me being bad at the game. Peppino, Gustavo, and Brick all feel really good to play as. Like, genuinely, the controls are super tight and precise, but not precise to a fault. You've got some leeway with how they work. Combat feels punchy and responsive. Enemies are generally quite fair, and the lack of any kind of health bar in the main levels means that you can get hit as many times as you want. You're encouraged to make mistakes and learn from them, and I really appreciate that kind of level design and game design in general. At the end of every level, you're given a ranking, and the ranking is purely a cosmetic thing. I think there is, like, an achievement for getting a P rank on every level. I should go over what every rank is. So rankings D, C, B, A, and S are just about getting as many points as you can. But the P rank is different. You have to get every top-in, get every secret, get the treasure in a level, and not drop your combo once, while also doing the second lap that you can do after beating a level the first time. It's a tall order, but man, does it feel good. At least, I think it does. I've never P-ranked a level in my life. Also, speaking of gameplay stuff, the bosses are just amazing. There's not a bad one in the bunch. Every single boss, from Pepperman to the Vigilante to the Noise to the fourth boss to Pizza Face himself, they're just all a genuine joyride. And they have like a good progression of difficulty. They're not unfair ever, but they are challenging and they keep you on your toes. And the way rankings work in the bosses is a little different. You have a proper health bar in the boss fights, and the ranking is literally just about how many times you take damage, with the P rank being a no-hit run. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Now, watching the gameplay, you've probably noticed the art style of this game is just absolutely deranged. It's basically like, you know Ed, Edd n Eddy? It kind of reminds me of that. Like, the characters have those squiggle lines, you know? The line art is never really still, and everything is hand-drawn. There's no tweening, there's no reusing pieces of characters. It's all just hand-drawn, hand-animated, in MS Paint, of all things, I believe. And it results in the game having this absolutely demented art style that just keeps it from being infuriating, even at its hardest. Like, genuinely, there's so much personality in this game, and everything is just hilarious. The whole thing feels like a playable early 2000s cartoon. And dude, I would kill for a Pizza Tower animated series with this same, like, general art style and animation style. Please. Like, get the guys from Ed, Edd n Eddy to work on it, please. Also, the music's good. Like, genuinely, some of the best music in any indie game I've ever heard. I think my favorite song in the game would actually have to be It's Pizza Time, which is the escape theme, because it perfectly matches the tone of the escapes. Just rushing to the exit, the go, 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 get the hell out of there as fast as you can, you know? It's perfectly frantic, it's perfectly mad, it's everything. It's everything it needs to be. But yeah, honestly, Pizza Tower is genuinely really special. The years of work put into this game show with how refined and fun it is. Everything just feels amazing, and I really hope that these devs make more games, because they've proven that they have a commitment to quality, and I just cannot wait to see what they come up with next. So that's going to be it for me. Thanks to everyone who watched. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I will see you all in the next one. Stay safe out there, everybody. Goodbye.